What is up? And in today's video, I'm predicting week 3 of the NFL 2024 season. Yes, I am uploading consistently. Thanks, Jeremy. I'm joking. Jeremy's a made up character. Anyways, so going into week 2, I was 12-4. My new record is now 19-13. Last week was really rough with some of the upsets that happened. The Falcons, the Saints, like the Bucks. There were some good games that happened last week, but we're gonna try and have a nice bounce back week. There are definitely some decent matchups up in here. There are also some easily predictable matchups, and we're just gonna hope for the best. Okay, so for our first matchup, my favorite of the week, obviously, you got the New York Jets taking on the New England Patriots. The Patriots coming off of an overtime loss to the Seattle Seahawks, and the Jets are coming off of a close win over the Titans, actually. That game was a lot uglier than I was hoping it would be. I am going to be going with the Jets. I think that their team is just better. We broke the Patriots curse last season in Week 18. And I just think that the Patriots' first couple weeks were a fluke, and they're just going to go back to being a bottom 5 team. Also, I'm biased. Next up, you got the Browns taking on the Giants. Also, if I sound like stuffy or whatever, I am having some really bad allergies, so that is all me. That's all me. Anyway, you got the Giants and the Browns. The Browns are coming off of an ugly game against the Jaguars that they won off of a safety. They won like 18-13. And the Giants lost to 7 field goals. The Commanders kicked 7 field goals and won. Graham Gano got hurt. It was tragic for them. I don't see a feasible world where the Giants beat the Browns this week. The Daniel Jones, we knew he wasn't the guy. He's still not the guy. There's been no improvements. He's just not that good. And Deshaun Watson still sucks. Next up, you got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New Orleans Saints. The Eagles coming off of an absolute heartbreaker to the Falcons, dropping down to 1-1 and second in their division behind, couldn't have guessed this, the Commanders. Meanwhile, the Saints are coming off of a, get this, 44-19 victory over the Dallas Cowboys. Oh my god, the Cowboys. Y'all did so terrible. And honestly, after what I saw, I think the Saints are actually going to win this game. The Eagles, of course, they're off. Last week it was a defense that looked shaky. This week it was their offense that looked a little bit shaky. The Saints have been playing absolutely lights out football all season so far. So I'm just going to pick the Saints because it feels safer. And if they lose, then I guess I'm just a curse. Next up, you got the Texans taking on the Vikings. The Texans coming off of the Sunday Night Football game against the Bears that they won with an unbelievable amount of penalties. Like, a concerning amount of penalties. The refs were on one that game. But they did get the win. Can't take that away. And they're going up against the Vikings, who just had a huge upset victory over the San Francisco 49ers. That's one of the games I got wrong for sure. And Sam Darnold, why couldn't you play like this for the Jets, man? We could have been best buddies. Anyways, I'm going to stop being cringe. Jettis had a good game. He did get hurt, though. Nothing serious, apparently. I'm going to take the Texans to win because I don't really have a reason. I just don't trust the Vikings. I don't trust Sam Darnold enough to sustain a winning streak like that, and I'm just taking the Texans. Next up, you got the Bucks taking on the Broncos, and the Bucks are coming off of a huge upset win over the Detroit Lions, and you gotta let Baker bake. I'm just saying. Meanwhile, Bo Picks got absolutely lit up by the Steelers defense as the Broncos took their second loss of the year already. And this is a pretty easy game to predict, in my opinion. I think the Bucs are going to absolutely blow out the Broncos. I don't even think the game's going to be close like most of the games happen. I think this game is ending extremely quickly, so I'm going with the Bucs here. Next up, you got Malik Willis's revenge game. You got the Packers and the Titans. The Packers coming off of a win over the Colts, another one that I got wrong, because why wouldn't I get a bunch wrong? And they're going up against the Titans, who are coming off of a loss to the Jets, which admittedly they probably should have won. But then Will Levis happened. Calvin Ridley, by the way, have yourself a day. Thank you for fantasy. I am going to be selecting the Green Bay Packers. I did not even circle the whole name. Wow, Oh, today's not my day. Okay, I'm taking the Packers here. I think that their team is better. I think that Josh Jacobs is going to light up the Titans' defense, and I just think that they're going to be better. I don't really have much more to say about that. I just think the Packers are winning. Okay, next up, you got the Bears taking on the Colts. I had to take a little break because these allergies are really bad. The Bears are coming off of a tough loss to the Texans, while the Colts are coming off a tough loss to the Packers. So both teams are coming off of tough losses. And honestly, Caleb Williams is not looking great. Anthony Richardson had a down game for sure. He did not cook. He let fantasy owners down. Just a lot of that crap. I am still going to take the Colts here. I was high on the Colts going into the season. I'm still decently high on the Colts. And with how Caleb Williams has been playing, this should not be too much of an issue for the Colts to win the game. Next up, you got the Chargers taking on the Steelers. Two teams who are surprisingly on top of their divisions at the moment, which is just insane to think about. But J.K. Dobbins has been absolutely carrying this Chargers team. The Chargers have actually been playing really good football under Harbaugh. Meanwhile, Mike Tomlin is carrying the Steelers to more BS wins, because that's what Mike Tomlin does. It's 2024 and nothing's changed. I'm actually going to make a different pick here. Normally I'd pick the Steelers, but I'm feeling adventurous today. I'm picking the Chargers here. I think that Dobbins is actually going to have another good game. I think Dobbins is one of the most underrated running backs in the league. I think that the Steelers are just, not sustaining their first place spot in that division, because regardless of the Ravens and Bengals collapse, that is still a very competitive division, and you should expect the Steelers to probably drop out of that first place spot in a pretty decent amount of time. They'll stay there for a bit, sure, but they're not going to stay there. The Chargers, I think after this, are probably going to fall off too. I think the Chiefs are still winning that division for sure. I just think that with how the games have been played, the Steelers' offense looks pretty bad, and the Chargers' offense is looking a lot better than expected. So I'm going to go with the Chargers here. Next up, with my crappiest handwriting, you got the Seattle Seahawks, and then you got the Dolphins. The Dolphins, so this is a tragedy for them. Tua Tagovailoa is out with a concussion. 1 second. Yeah, Tua's out with an injury. And they got absolutely destroyed by the Bills. Meanwhile, the Seahawks, they lost Kenneth Walker, so now their run game is struggling. Both teams with pretty substantial injuries here. I'm gonna do even more crazy things that I was not expecting myself to do this week. I'm gonna take the Seattle Seahawks to beat the Miami Dolphins here. I think that without Tua, they're gonna be struggling at the quarterback position to get the ball to guys like Reek and Waddle. They're gonna have to rely on that run game. Achane is known for getting hurt. Mostert's known for getting hurt. Are they gonna be able to stay healthy? Mostert is hurt right now. Are they gonna be good? We don't know yet. Achane is very promising, but we don't know that. We don't know if he's good. So I'm taking the Seahawks here. It's honestly the safer pick after Tua got hurt. So yeah. Do I have to cover this? Like, okay. You got the Panthers and the Raiders. So the Raiders upset the Ravens last week, and honestly, that's just enough for me to say the Raiders are winning. The Panthers got destroyed by the Chargers and gave up 2 receiving touchdowns to Quentin Johnston. Yeah, no. There is no reasonable world where I pick the Panthers to beat the Raiders. I forgot to mention this. Bryce Young has been benched for Andy Dalton. Yeah, no, they're not. They're going 0-17 this year. I'm calling it right now. Ignore my passionate hatred for the Panthers real quick. Anyways, you got the 49ers taking on the Rams. Now, the 49ers coming off of an absolute tragedy against Sam Darnold where they lost somehow. Whoop the Jets and then and then lose to the damn Vikings, man. Meanwhile, the Rams, they don't want to talk about it, but they lost 41-10 to the Arizona Cardinals. Jesus Christ, Rams fans, I'm so sorry. Honestly, I cannot pick the Rams in a genuine way after what I had to witness last week. The Rams need to prove themselves again. I had them making the playoffs. Now I highly doubt that. They might even get last. Am I overreacting? Probably. Do I care? Not really. 49ers win. Speaking of the Cardinals, again, ignore my crappy handwriting, you got the Lions and the Cardinals. Now, the Lions are coming off of a close loss to the Bucs in a divisional round rematch. Absolutely tragic. Baker Mayfield baked a bit, and it was too much for the Lions to handle. Meanwhile, the Cardinals are coming off of a humongous win over the Rams. And Marvin Harrison had himself a day. Kyler had himself a day. He is going off so far. You know, we love to see it from Kyler. And, we wanted to see this from the start, and we're finally seeing some of those MVP stats that we were promised. Anyways, I'm still gonna take the Lions here. I missed the L completely. I missed the L and the S completely. The Ion is winning, guys. The Ion is winning. But no, I think I have the Lions beating the Cardinals because... Okay, I don't really have a good reason for this, honestly. I just think that the Cardinals are a much less proven team. If Kyler gives the ball to Marvin Harrison and Trey McBride more, I think that they are going to be a pretty damn solid team this year. But I just have way more confidence in the Lions to, sustain games and shit. Next up, you got 2 teams who are on fraud watch. You got the Dallas Cowboys and the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, you blew it to the Raiders, and the Cowboys got blown out by the Saints. There's no way to sugarcoat it. These 2 teams sucked last week. And it was an absolute travesty of a football game for both of them. Now, who am I picking here? I'm picking the Ravens. Now, yes, I understand that they're 0-2. I know they're coming off of a loss to the Raiders, but at least their game was close. Did y'all watch the Cowboys? Dak is a fraud. Their entire team is a damn fraud. I don't care if I'm overreacting. It's the Cowboys. I'm allowed to overreact. They talk too much. Okay. I have the Ravens winning here. I think that they're a more well-rounded team than Dallas at the moment. And yeah, Ravens win. Next up, even crappier handwriting. You got the Chiefs and the Falcons. 1-0 right there. Yeah. So, the Chiefs coming off of a bullshit win against the Bengals that they should have lost. Meanwhile, the Falcons coming off of an upset win against the Eagles, who, we went over their game earlier. I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to absolutely annihilate this defense. Sorry for putting my phone down a lot. I think the Chiefs is going to annihilate the Falcons defense a lot. I don't see the Falcons, I think that it will be an offensive shootout, to be honest, but I just see the Chiefs coming out on top with Patrick Mahomes at the helm. They're just such a good team, and you can't even deny them at this point. Give me the Chiefs over the Falcons. Next up on Sunday Night Football, you have the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Buffalo Bills. Okay, Bills, it's time for me to admit it. I doubted y'all. I did. I doubted y'all against Miami, and you proved me wrong. The Jaguars, I trusted y'all, and you proved me wrong. And I'm not going to let that happen again. The Bills absolutely annihilated the Dolphins, while the Jaguars, in one of the most ugly games of the week, they lost to the Browns. I will actually be taking the Bills to start off 3-0. Which, as a Jets fan, hurts my body, mind, and soul. But other than Jets games, I'm not going to be biased about shit, and I'm going to pick who the better team is and who should win the matchup. And I'm totally picking the Bills here because the Jags are looking really bad. I can't even lie. They're struggling, and I just see the Bills winning. Disclaimer before Monday Night Football, these allergies are really getting to me, and I cannot put sentences together. So if I'm kind of just rambling and babbling, that's on me. I just wanted to get the video out so that I didn't get yelled at for not being consistent for like the 8th time. So that's on me. Anyways, you got the Commanders and the Bengals. The Commanders are coming off of a win over the Giants by 3 points by only kicking field goals. 7 field goals beat the Giants, guys. Yep, okay. Meanwhile, you got the Bengals, who got screwed by the refs and lost to the Chiefs. Shocker. The Bengals are 2-0. I still think that the Bengals are going to win this game. I do not trust that Commanders offense at all. The Bengals, I think, are just the more well-rounded team. I think the Bengals are due for a win now that it's week 3, because they normally start off the season 0-2. It's nothing to really panic about. Now, if they lose this game, then as a Bengals fan, I would start fucking panicking. But for now, I got the Bengals winning for sure. Anyways, so just to recap all of my predictions, I have the Jets beating the Patriots, the Browns beating the Giants, the Saints over the Eagles, the Texans over the Vikings, the Bucks over the Broncos, the Packers over the Titans, the Colts over the Bears, the Chargers over the Steelers, the Seahawks over the Dolphins, the Raiders over the Panthers, the 49ers over the Rams, the Lions over the Cardinals, the Ravens over the Cowboys, the Chiefs over the Falcons, the Bills over the Jags, and the Bengals over the Commanders. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, just drop your predictions in there, because hell yeah, we love community activity up in here. If you like this, like and subscribe. I'm doing this every week, and nothing is stopping me. Whether I am allergic as hell or sick as hell, I will still do this. Try me. But that's it for me. Peace.